In my quest to leave a mark on the culture and make hip hop proud, I'd like to welcome you all to another episode of The Essence. I am your host, KB Tyndall. This episode of The Essence is presented by Tent TV. Today, I have an artist that is known as the Femme Pitbull. She hails from Buffalo, New York, and has recently been working with a hip hop collective called I Stay Busy. She's all about looking good, staying fully clothed, and spitting bars and paying homage to the artists that came before her. Her EP, Duffel Bag Bulli, spawned the singles Duffel Bag and Who You Talking To. It's got hardcore hip-hop enthusiasts and purists' ears wide open. She's been featured on Shade 45 and mentioned on various podcasts and hip-hop platforms. Most recently, she was praised by Mecca on Math Hoffa's My Expert Opinion show. Her single, Simplicity, also made some ears stand up, but her latest single, Homage, is what hip-hop is really all about. Paying homage to and saluting the predecessors that opened the doors for all of us to be original and bar it down with the best of your peers is what hip hop is all about. And that's exactly what hip hop needs right now. We're going to get into her roots, her upbringing, her ferocious bite back when it comes to spitting, her current, present, and future endeavors. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the rising femc, Pretti Bulli, to The Essence. What's going on, girl?
What's up? That was a heck of an introduction, my guy.
Thank you. Well deserved, well deserved, well deserved.
Thank you.
Um, let's jump right in, man. I'm originally from Hollis, Queens. I live out in California now. I've been out here for a few years.
Mhm.
On your single Duffel Bag, you used the sample from Run DMC's classic Here We Go. What made you use that sample? It shows me that you have a lot of depth when it comes to hip hop, first of all. That's not something that you hear coming from a lot of artists today. Why did you choose to use that sample? And tell me, when was the first time that hip hop actually stole your heart and your earliest memory of the culture?
Oh, wait. Okay, well, as far as my earliest memory goes, I didn't have my own music to listen to,
Mhm.
like my own source of music from a Walkman to a CD player. None, I didn't have that. So
Okay.
I used to bring my brothers. I used to sit on his lap and listen, you know what I mean? Whatever he was listening to. So like Rakim, Raekwon, boys like that was how I started listening to it. Like, wait, what is this? My mother ain't know I was listening to it, but but so still in my brother's Walkman is my first introduction to anything of hip hop.
Okay.
Now, as far as the single was concerned and how I didn't necessarily pick that. I'll say it picked me in a
Okay.
way
Okay.
because when the beats was sent to me, that one it just I don't want it to sound weird, but beats talk to me. You know what I mean? But so it was just like, yo, I need this. It kind of called out to me because he sent me several,
Right.
but yeah, I needed that one.
Yeah. That's classic for us growing up in Hollis, man. That was like, that was one of them things, man. We rode around and we played that. We had boom boxes, we blasted that. We was proud to see Run D making it, man. You know what I'm saying, from my hood. So yeah, so that one kind of like brought back some memories, man. And it's just dope that you flipped it the way that that you did, and that it's dope that the music spoke to you, enough to use that. Definitely,
Hmm.
definitely. Um, you talked about on Homage, when your pops got you the double tape deck in 9.5. Um, how did you feel in that moment when you got that double tape deck, when you finally got your own source of music to listen
Uh,
to? How did that make you feel?
yeah, it was crazy because I actually was recording myself like on a little handheld tape recorder.
Okay.
So with the little tapes you rewind it with the pencil and shit. What I mean. So I used to record myself on that. So
Right.
that one Christmas, when my pops got me the double-sided one with the microphones, when I tell you I didn't come out my room. I was living in there. That was my spot. Like I just felt like I could finally express myself. You know what I mean? I had ways to record it, play it back. I was winning. You
Mhm.
couldn't tell me nothing.
That is so dope, yo. That's so fly. So you talked about listening to stuff that your brother listened to. Your pops finally got you this double deck boombox to listen to stuff on. Um, did you listen to a lot of hip hop in your household, or was it just a myriad of different types of sounds? and things like that? What was it like growing up?
We listened to everything. You
Okay.
know, I listened to whatever my mother was listening to, whatever my dad was listening to. So we talking Gladys Knight, Whitney Houston. My mother even listened to what is the name of that group? It was three white girls, but they could blow. I can't remember the name. Wilson Phillips. She used to
Okay.
listen.
All right.
Like it was a variety of music in my house.
Okay.
But for me, like when I started writing, hip hop was what I gravitated to. Like they was talking about my day-to-day life. You know what I mean? Like things that I seen all the time. Like I'm hearing these songs and it's like, oh, no, this is it.
Right. Yeah, man. I think it speaks to all of us like that. You know, I think we all have those memories of that, you know, those first times that we heard songs that made us inquisitive, you know what I mean?
Right.
Made us think, you know, about like, wow, these people are talking about things that I think about and things that I deal with, you know, and I think that's, you know, it's real dope that we get to experience that, definitely. On Homage, man, the produced by, you know, Kid Called Quest, you use a sample and some references of MC Lyte's Paper Thin. Some of the newer heads would say it came from Biggie's I Got a Story to Tell because of the kick and the snare. The video shot by Black Belt Jones is dope. The 80s vibe in the video is dope.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Absolutely. To me, that is the essence, pun intended, of what hip hop is all about. What was the creative process like for you during the making of Homage, during the making of the song and the video?
Well, when I first heard the beat, I knew automatically that I had to pay homage. You know, based on what was on the beat, you know, just to even put myself on a track that MC Lyte already blessed. Like I knew this was a homage situation, you know, so I just sat with the beat. I think I had it for a couple days, like just listening to it, you know, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just say how I feel based on who got me to do what I'm doing now.
Right.
You know, and that's when the hook came out and the verses, they just followed after that. But as far as the video, I knew when I wrote it, I'm like, yo, I see, like sometimes when you write music, you can actually see a visual for it then. You know, so like as I'm writing, I'm like, yo, I see cross colors, jumper, all type of shit. Like, like, yeah, I want this to be like, I want break dancers in it. Like it was way bigger in my head than I actually got to do. But yeah, like the process was dope. That was actually my niece in the video.
Okay, all right.
It was really close to home.
That's dope.
I got to be myself. My baby was being herself. It's like, yeah, this was.
Yeah, you had the graffiti in there. You had break dances. You had clips of all the female MCs that have graced us with their talent over the years. Man, it was just dope. Like as soon as I saw it, I reposted and I think I put it on Facebook or whatever. And some of my friends hit me back. It's like, yo, who's this? I'm like, yo, just tap in, man. Just go to YouTube and just look her up. You know what I mean? Like this video right here says it all. You know what I mean? Yeah, definitely.
By the way.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you for all the shares, spins, everything. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, man. Of course. You know, it costs nothing to support. You know what I mean? And a lot of us, you know, we get lost in that. Oh, I'm not supporting that. I ain't supporting. You know what I mean? But if we want this culture to thrive, man, that's what we got to do. You know what I mean? Especially nowadays. You know what I mean? Definitely. You had the breakup EP back in 2018. So this is kind of like a reintroduction phase of your career. You've been around for a while. We already know what the pedigree is. Tell us a little bit about your journey so far and how you got to this reintroduction phase of where you are right now.
Well, like you said, I've been doing this for a long time. So of course, life happens throughout the time that you're doing this, you know? So it took me on I digressed a little bit, you know? It wasn't intentional. Of course, music was always my first love, but I mean, you have children, kids got to go to school, you know, and I'm a mommy first.
Right. Okay.
So, you know, home had to be taken care of, you know, but now that my youngest is 14. Okay. So she's more self-sufficient now. Mommy got a little more room to play. You know, so now that I'm jumping back into it, I'm able to put more of myself into it.
Okay.
You know, and Man, what better time than now? I've been
Yeah,
waiting a while for this.
yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Do you play classic hip hop for your kids?
My son, yes. My
Okay.
daughter, she's still too young. It's like, mom, you listening to old people music? Like, yeah, she ain't ready. I could tap my son in though.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Where did the name Pretty Bully come from?
Shout out to Tisdale. That's one of my peoples. It's funny. I used to call him a skinny fat boy because he's real
Okay.
small, eat like all the time. And the one time I called him that, his rebuttal was, "You ain't about to bully me, you pretty bully." And we paused for a second. He was like,
Mm.
"Wait, I like that." And it was like it explained me coming from somebody that knew me to
Mhm,
receive a name like that and not even on purpose. It's like he was describing me.
mhm,
you
mhm.
know, and man, accurate job, Tiz. Thank you.
Yeah, accurate. Yeah, definitely. That's dope. That's dope. Tell me about the EP. Duffel Bag Bully. How the features and some of the producers came together to work on the project, and also tell me what that EP means to you.
Whew. Duffel Bag Bully is, like you said, my introduction back into this thing.
Mhm,
So it holds a lot of weight with me because it's either one way or another. Either
mhm.
they gonna mess with it or they don't.
Right,
I'm coming back from a lengthy time off, and now to come back, it gotta be right.
right.
So I was very hesitant about releasing.
Mhm.
I felt like nothing was right. It's like I need to go back and redo this,
Right.
but overall, Duffel Bag, that's my baby.
Yeah,
That was my baby. I finally let her go. Now, as
yeah.
far as the producers go, Castle Money B, shout out to him. He
Mhm.
produced the majority of the project.
Okay.
With the exception of Pain, he had Elvis and Carolina Blue.
Okay.
Now they're both from Buffalo with me, and the connection actually came through Elvis. So shout out to Elvis from Team I Stay Busy. The
Okay.
connection came through him to Castle Money, and then they sent me some beats and with the option to do a project. I'm like, oh, okay. So the first track was Who You Talking To?
Okay.
And Castle was pushing it. He had it playing on Shade 45. We started getting a little traction. I'm like, okay, this
Mhm,
is what's up. He like, well, you want to do another one? And now here come I'm Really Nice. Because we
mhm.
didn't even have a project yet. We was
Okay.
just going track by track.
Right. Right.
So then after I'm Really Nice came along, then that's when we started formulating the entire project.
Mm.
Castle Money actually named the project Duffel Bag Bully from one of the tracks that I sent him to review. It was a line that I said in there, and he was
Okay.
like, "Yo, that would be dope for a project." So shout out to him for the name of the project. Got to give credit where it's due.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. That's dope. I
And
mean, go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry, honey. But as far as I was trying to remember all your questions. As far as the features go,
Right.
um, I went to New York for a show. Illa G asked me to come down for one of his shows,
Okay.
and we was at the Knitting Factory, and that is where I met Rusty Jukes.
Okay.
So after that, I think maybe like a week after we got home, he sent me a track. Rusty did. He sent me a track and asked me to feature on it.
Mm.
I sent them back the verse, and I asked for reciprocation,
Right.
and
Right.
he actually did it. Like I'm like, oh, man, that was a big one for me. But yeah, that's one of, and the rest of my boys that was on the project, they're actually from here. So those are my brothers from Team I Stay Busy.
That's dope. That's dope, man. Yeah, it's love when when you go out and you meet these artists and you feel like, oh shit, like they really want me to be down with something. You know what I mean? Like that's a good feeling.
It was.
Yeah, I
I
can
was low key
imagine.
fan. I ain't gonna hold you.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Independent or major label? What's your take on both of them, and where do you think you see yourself in the long run?
I would. I'm gonna stand on that. I'm staying indie.
Okay,
I was about to make it. Nah, ain't no. I'd rather stay indie. It's
okay.
nothing against the industry,
Mm-hmm.
but if you focus on your core fan base,
Mm-hmm.
like people who actually rock with you
Mm-hmm.
heavy, you can grow just as fast, like versus going viral, you know, and then somebody scooping you from the industry and putting a bag behind you. You know, like you just got people watching you. It's a lot of eyes, but are they really fans?
Right.
I would rather be intimate with my fans.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, man. I mean, because you could do so much more independently, and the freedom is unparalleled. You know what I mean? When it comes to being able to do what you want when you want without having anybody dictating your craft, you know, and your art. You know, yeah. So I agree with you on that. That's a dope. That's a good way to look at it, definitely. Tell us about your neighborhood growing up, and how it influenced you. Just give me a little tidbit of maybe some of the good things and some of the bad things that you remember about growing up.
I grew up in a fruit belt, on the east side of Buffalo.
Okay.
I would not say anything bad about the way I grew up. It was more so, now that I reminisce on it, I can see what we didn't have.
Okay.
You know, but that was our lifestyle. That was the whole neighborhood. You didn't have anybody that was rich, you know what I'm saying, or well off. Like, we all was going through the same shit. Your heat off this day, maybe ours off the next. You know, so it's like it's more so me reminiscing now on how far I've come.
Okay.
Versus having anything bad to say about how I grew up, because shit, it made me who I am now. So I really don't have anything bad to say.
Beautiful, beautiful. When you're in a position, you know, as you grow as an artist, and when you're in a position to change some things financially, or just reach out to, you know, people otherwise outside of financial things, what are some of the things that you want to do to give back?
Ooh, I want to talk to abused women, battered women, things of that nature, younger women, before anything like that can happen.
Right.
Type thing. You know, because there's a lot of people a lot of women, men as well, but it's a lot of women that they just don't have the ears. People don't listen. You know, they don't know what they're going through. Hence is why we have so much like mental health going on right now. You know, it's like, I've been through a lot.
Okay.
You know, I won't say much, but I've been through a lot. So to be able to share the things that I have been through to prevent somebody else from going through it is what I'm trying to do right now. I'm kind of in the works of working with women like that. I haven't sealed the deal yet, but that's a huge goal for me.
Yeah. That's powerful, man. We need that so much, because, you know, women of color, man, they even men of color, man, it's just like we have a voice, man, but like people don't really hear us. You know, they hear what they want to hear,
or they judge you,
or they
you know, then you
that's
you don't want to speak. You know, it's so much of that going on.
Yeah. I was watching a documentary last night on Netflix, and they were talking about, you know, how this lady, she put out a feeler to the community, and she was like, we're going to give away, you know, hours of free therapy in the Black community, and they had an overwhelming response that came in, and they weren't prepared that many Black men would be like, yeah, I'm down to get some therapy, you know. And I thought it was real dope that she was doing that. It was a documentary called Xanax. It was about how, you know, Xanax affects, you know, people drug wise and stuff like that. And it was just real dope. Yeah, it was just real dope that she did that. And it shows that, like, there are, you know, brothers and sisters, man, that want to get some help. You know, you want to be able to talk to somebody. So it's good that you have that in your crosshairs as something that you want to do. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that can benefit from that. Absolutely. What artists do you want to work with in the future?
Right now I've been listening to Love the Genius a lot.
Okay.
I definitely want to work with her. Top of my list. No, let me not say that. I don't want to say top of the list and then we start pulling rank. You know what I mean? I definitely want to work with Kiss.
Okay.
Definitely. Like that's my go-to.
Yeah.
Right there. I love that right there. let me see. Eve.
Mm.
If I could get her to get back into it, man. And Mary J. Blige.
Okay.
She is hip hop to me.
Yeah, all hip hop, definitely, definitely. She is purely hip hop, no doubt, definitely. I actually just bought a T-shirt of What's the 411 on it the other day. Because
Never gets old.
yeah, it never gets old. Yeah, it's classic. It's priceless, man. It's one of those albums that just made such a staple in the culture, man, and it still carries over to this day, definitely.
Right now, it's definitely on my playlist.
What are your thoughts on your city's current hip hop scene? Like we all know Griselda is the staple, from Buffalo. But outside of them, like who are you checking for? What do you think about the current scene in your city?
It's so much talent in Buffalo. A lot of people think that the Griselda sound is the sound of Buffalo.
Okay.
And Buffalo's like a gumbo. There's so many different sounds here. Maybe I'm only saying that because I'm from here.
Mm-hmm.
You got melodic sounds. It's a gumbo of everything. So I don't feel like I'm close to anyone.
Okay.
From my own city. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I don't care who it is. Like, let's work.
Right.
Like, I want anything that's going to make more light be shined on my city. And shout out to Griselda for everything they're doing right now. Boys winning.
Yeah.
Love to see it. Buffalo, let's go.
There you go. That's right. We keep losing our kings, man, at young ages in this hip hop thing. We just lost Takeoff, rest in peace. We lost PNB Rock, rest in peace. What do you think that we can do better to change the mindset of the youth and our culture so that we can kind of like stop some of this senseless violence that's going on in our culture, which would also help us preserve our culture and the art form? What do you think we could do?
That falls back on, again, the generation that I'm in, talking to younger people. We don't get that enough. It's more so, oh man, that little nigga shouldn't be doing that. Tell him that. You know what I mean? Talk to this boy. They don't have the ears, or they don't even have the mentors in their life to even put them in the right direction.
Right.
That's all they know. We have people to talk to. Hence is why all of us are not doing that. But the older we get, and I'm blaming on my generation, because we fell back and we more so was pointing fingers versus helping the ones that were beneath us. Okay. The upcoming generation.
Right.
So I do blame that a lot on us. We got to stand up more. Take responsibility for what's happening. Because if they don't know no better, they're not gonna do better.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true. I mean, I always say, I always take my experiences that I've had in life, and I always try to pass it on to somebody. And it's like, if I can get 20 ears to listen, if I can just reach one of those 20, that's better, because that one might reach 10 more that are his age.
It's contagious, right?
Yeah. So definitely, man, I'm all about that. Yeah, absolutely. Who's the one producer or artist that pushed you to step your game up when you were in the studio with them?
Shout out to Kid Cole, legend in Buffalo.
Okay.
He will make me feel I can come in here with what I think is the hottest 16 I ever wrote.
Right.
Like, soon as I get in the booth, and Bully, you ain't say that with your chest. Like, okay, let me run that back a little bit. Like, that's my guy. He keep me on my toes all the time.
That's what's up. Yeah, you need that, man. You need that. I think, and this is no shot at anybody, that creates hip hop in the younger generation or anything like that, or that doesn't, spit from your perspective, but I think that there's a lot of yes men in this game. You know what I mean? And they're not telling artists like, yo, bro, that you could do better than that, or just plain simple, like, that shit is trash. Like, because some of the shit is just trash, and I'm not taking. I'm just being honest from my point of view.
Understood.
You know. So I think there's way too many yes men in the game, and they just won't tell their people like, "Yo, bro, you got to step it up."
Yeah.
You know. I was just talking to an
Agreed.
artist the other day, and he was like, "I was like, you know, if you're not spitting to try to be mentioned in the conversation with the greats, then what are you doing it for?" You know.
We
Like
live in a different generation, though. It's a different time zone. They're
that's
more
true
so
too.
based on the visuals.
That
They
right.
don't care they saying anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
To
Yeah.
say nothing. It's
Yeah.
like, you know how long it took me to come up with these concepts and metaphors?
Real. Yeah, man. I'm hoping that, like, you know, they go back and they listen to some of the shit they did in 10 years and be like, wait a minute, like, hold up. Like, let me try to do something different today. You know what I'm saying?
Right, step the bar up a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, exactly. Um, as a hip hop artist, what do you feel your responsibility is to the culture?
Oh, to stay true to myself. Like,
Mm,
it's so many people, artists, that mimic what they see
mhm,
instead of actually just expressing who they are.
mhm,
Like, and they allow, I don't know if it's the level that they reach, the money that they receive, I don't know what it is,
mhm,
but when a change comes in an artist and you looking like, that's not them,
mhm,
what happened? It used to, and I know people change.
mhm.
That is the thing. People change with growth, but you can always stay true to who you are as you're growing.
Okay,
So that's my biggest thing, just staying me and
right.
not allowing myself to be influenced by anyone, anything.
Mhm. Okay, all right.
Stay solid.
That kind of leads me to my next question. How do you feel you've grown as an artist since you've come into the game, especially because you took a hiatus and now that you're back and you're getting these accolades? How do you feel that you've grown?
I've grown a lot. Like, if everything that is happening to me now happened to me maybe, let's say, 4 years ago, I probably wouldn't be talking to you right now.
Okay.
Like, it's so, my mental has grown a lot.
Okay.
I'm able to actually converse with people. I don't like people. That might sound weird, but I don't. But I don't, I'm able to actually work in the perfection of my craft.
Okay.
Because usually I would have been so isolated. Like, I'll write a whole project and nobody hears it.
Right. Right.
No
Right.
one hears it. Like, I never wanted to release anything. Nothing was ever good enough.
Okay.
But now I'm to the point where it's like I've grown so much as an artist because I can actually see that my artistry is helping other people and I'm
Mm,
willing to release it. It's not about me. It's about who else is going to hear this and get whatever lesson they need to get from it. you
mhm.
know so it took some maturing in my life to be able to get to that point.
Well, we glad that we got you now. You know what I mean? We definitely want to hear more. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you, I appreciate you.
Absolutely. You're absolutely welcome. I'm gonna quote this statement that you made in your that
Uh-oh.
got in your EPK. It says,
Okay.
as a woman, which is I mean, as a woman in hip hop, which is predominantly a male-driven genre, we have to work twice as hard to receive half the recognition. My confidence is often misinterpreted as cockiness. My independence is usually frowned upon. My go-getter spirit is viewed as aggression. I am often called out of my name. So I am perceived in a completely different manner than who I truly am. I have chosen to embrace it. Being called a bitch is not always a bad thing. The female pit bull has a similar invalid reputation, but when loved properly, they are beautiful animals. There's nothing wrong with being independent about your business. You can have a pretty face and still have a bulldog work ethic. First, let me say that is a very powerful and moving statement. It's something that can empower women that come into this game. And I appreciate you for making that statement. Can you explain to me or give me a little bit of the scrutiny that you have faced as a female artist coming into hip hop that would make you make a statement like that and stand on that?
There's been a lot of things we can touch on the basis of my weight, for instance.
Okay.
I'm not the typical size that you would usually see on TV
Mm-hmm.
as far as women in the industry.
Okay.
You know, so along the way, whether it's a producer, a photographer, whatever have you, different men have let me know that in a way, one exact words was, your competition is stiff. You might want to get in the gym. You know, like they say
Mm,
things like that to you.
mhm,
You know, and if I wasn't solid in who I am, that
mhm,
probably would have broke me. You
mhm.
know, but that's the type of thing that adds fuel to me. So now I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna come back so you can see it. But I'm
Right.
gonna have to go even harder to get somebody like you to notice it. Because
Mhm.
all you see is the exterior.
Right.
That's what you
Right.
see.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's just to name one thing. Now,
Okay.
as far as I've been on tracks with different artists and they'll still say things that I take offense to, as far as like when you say stuff like, oh, she spit hard for a female.
Mm.
Oh, she's sick out of the girls. You know, it's like it's a chauvinistic approach, but it makes my shoulders go up and it's like, yeah, okay, nigga, now I gotta bar you in the corner. You know?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that, like that, and they do it all the
Yeah.
time. You know,
Mm.
my thing is an MC is an MC.
Mhm. Mhm.
If there once was a time where we didn't put a gender on it. A
Right.
MC was an MC.
MC
So
was the
why
MC.
is it
Yeah.
different now?
Yeah.
Because if we get on this same track and I body you on this track, did I body
Mhm.
you for a girl or did I just
Did I
body
just body you as an MC?
you? You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah.
things like that
Mhm.
is interviews.
Mhm.
Like I've had people tell me that I could not perform at a showcase
Mhm.
that I was completely qualified for. It was right in the genre, but someone with the look of the industry
Mhm.
fit the bill.
Right.
And they told me this. You know, this wasn't my thought process. Oh no, it's because no, they actually told me this. She fits the look that
Mhm.
we're going for.
Right. Right. Right.
You know, so it's like I gotta make so much more noise over here
Mhm.
versus when it comes to men, you can have four guys that sound exactly alike.
Mhm. Mhm.
You gotta ask, well, damn, is that such and such?
Yeah. Yep.
Pay this though. You know, like they don't have to work as hard as we do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah, it's definitely a male-driven business, man. I mean, and it sucks that women have to go through that. Like I remember, like I'm a hip hop purist, right? And I come from the first generation of hip hop, so it's like, I remember when Sha Rock was rapping, and you didn't say female MC Sha Rock, it was just like Sha Rock, you know what I mean? Funky 4+1 more, and she barred it down
That's
probably
cool.
better than everybody in her group at the time. You know what I mean? And not until later on did people start saying, oh, the first female MC of hip hop, that kind of giving her that kind of moniker, you know.
Mm,
But yeah, man, an MC is an MC, man. You know what I mean? And if you dope, you dope. You know, it shouldn't matter. You know what I mean? If you're nice when you get in that booth, you're just nice. You know?
that's the point I'll be trying to make.
Yeah, absolutely. What has been your most personal, memorable moment so far since you've gotten into this game?
I have to say when my dad passed away. That was in 2017. Like that was another reason I stopped for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And the first track that I did was Dear Daddy. It was a
Okay.
letter to him.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually in his obituary. And I wrote it for my mom and my sisters. And when I did the video, I gave it to my mom on my dad's birthday.
Okay.
You know, like my dad was, and he still is, like I'm a daddy's girl all day.
All
You
right.
know, so when I lost him, he was my biggest fan. I'm talking like when I had a CD with just one song on it. He used to
Mhm.
take it to work and play it, you know,
Mhm.
things like that. So
Right,
when I
right.
lost him, that was my most memorable time in music because
Mhm.
it pushed me so much
Okay.
because I knew he wasn't going to be able to see me do this, but he wanted it so bad. He
Okay.
wanted it so bad, just as bad as I did.
Right.
So when I lost him, that was gas for me. I want to get mushy.
Rest in peace to your pops, man. Definitely. And thank him for, for getting you that boombox and kind of like introducing you to
Right.
culture. And we getting this from you now. And I'm excited to see, what you're gonna do, in the future, man. I know you're still getting accolades on this, this EP and these songs and these videos that you have out now. And I'm just excited to see you, you get to the next level, man. Definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be on this journey. It feels good.
Yeah.
I'm finally getting it out.
Yeah, definitely. What does hip hop mean to you?
Hip hop is life. It's a lifestyle. It's not a word. Like it's actually what we live. So it's a way for us to express ourselves, whether it's a hip hop poem, a hip hop song, a hip hop dance. Like it's how we express ourselves.
Right.
Yeah. Hip hop is us to me.
Us. Absolutely. Tell everybody about any other ventures that you're currently working on. What we should be expecting from you, where they can get like your merch and stuff, and where they can follow you on social media.
You can follow me on all social medias at Pretti Bulli. That's Bully with an I. Instagram is Pretti_BULLI. Everything else is Pretti Bulli. Twitter, YouTube, all Pretti Bulli. Coming up soon, I want to say top of the year, I'm working on a project with Kid Called Quest. We're just about finished. We just gotta, you gotta lock in your visuals and things of that nature. But I'm excited about this one because I was able to tap in more in that 9/5 when I first got the tape deck. I was able to tap into what started me to do this. Like with me and my sisters growing up, like it's layers to it.
Right.
So I was excited to get to this one.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to drop this one.
All right. Do you have a title for it yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
All right, yo, Pretti Bulli, thank you so much for tapping in and joining me on The Essence, man. It has really been a pleasure and refreshing to have an artist like yourself, grace my platform, man, and I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a dope interview. I was comfortable, and I don't like people, but we vibed.
Thank you so much. That just made my day, definitely. I am definitely going to stay tapped in on everything that you're doing. I'm sure that I'll tap you again for another interview down the road. I'm looking forward to this project that you got coming out at the top of the year, and just keep doing what you're doing, man. Just keep representing the culture the way that you do, man. We really need that, definitely.
Thank you. I'm listening. I'm gonna do my best. I'm here for a couple laps. Let's go.
Bulli, thank you so much. I salute you, Queen.
You have a good night.
All right, you too.